Hello and welcome to the Maple Grove City Report. I'm Dave Kaiser from Northwest Community Television. It's time once again for an update of what's happening in Maple Grove, and we'll also take a look back at the August 4th Council meeting. All next on the Maple Grove City Report. And thank you for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report. And as always, City Administrator Al Madsen joining us to bring us up to date. Welcome, Al.
Thanks, Dave.
Number of things to talk about as we tape here in early August. We're the morning or day after National Night Out. So a lot of people in Maple Grove have full stomachs and we're out having some fun. Al, tell us a little bit about the reports you've heard. It sounds like everything was wonderful.
It was. We had 156 block parties. Last year we had 150. So
Great.
It gets bigger every year. Last year we were ranked the number 1 in the nation in our population classification. I got to think that we're going to defend our title very well. So with 156 and all the reports that I've gotten, I met with the police chief this morning, and the input I've gotten from council members is that everything went very, very well. The residents are very upbeat. They love their city. They love all the obviously shopping opportunities and job opportunities. There's always the question that comes up about traffic.
Sure.
But if you're a business owner, let's say in retail, you love the traffic because that means people are
Right.
there supposedly shopping. So anyway, it was, the weather was perfect. It was a great evening for that. And so everybody just had a wonderful time.
A couple different things happen in Maple Grove, obviously. They have a little bit of a kickoff party. Tell me about the kickoff and the hot dogs and some of the other activities that went around that event this year.
It's amazing what free food will do,
Yes.
isn't it? It's
just come out.
There's something magic about that. Yes, at the Lions Pavilion over by our community center, Chief Warner got his first opportunity to be the chef at the National Night Out kickoff, and a lot of people there. And in the community center, there was a wide range of things that were set up, displays and things like that. Our farmers market had a booth there to promote our farmers market. It was, you couldn't find a place to park. I mean, it was just absolutely packed, and so it's nice to see that enthusiasm. There was a helicopter there. We had a one of our aerial fire trucks there. Kids come in and they just love that. So it's a great time.
Thinking back, I would guess when you came to the city, there was probably not a National Night Out. This is not that old of an event.
No.
Can you imagine that it's turned into what it is? Because as I look at it, with all the cities in this area, it seems to be one of the biggest nights as far as city and resident involvement. Did you think it would turn into this?
No, it's one of those things that you start and you think, well, that's kind of like what it'll be.
Right.
But every year, it's just evolved into something bigger. It's kind of like our farmers market. We started out at this level, and we assumed that's probably the level we would be at year after year. And now our farmers market just continues to balloon. And but yeah, National Night Out. I guess myself and others probably thought it's a wonderful thing to do.
Right.
But it's probably just going to be at a lower level. But each year, the number of block parties that have taken place is just amazing.
Right.
And people love it. It's sometimes, one of the residents told me last year that he was jokingly, he said, well, this is my only time to get out of the house. Or my only time where I can meet my neighbors or something like that.
Yeah.
And that is also part of it.
Sure.
Because, we have a lot of new people in Maple Grove. And so the environment is totally fun. Absolutely totally fun. Lots of food, lots of beverages.
Right.
So if somebody cannot find something to eat at a block party, something is wrong.
Right.
So.
A few that I went to, it was rather interesting to hear a couple comments of people saying, you've lived in that house how long?
True, that's
and
a good
you're
point.
thinking that's an interesting comment for people to make that are a couple houses down, but they'll say, oh, you've been there for 10 months? I heard a couple of people saying
Right.
that's rather odd that people would not know, but again, that's one of the main purposes of the night.
Yeah, it is. It truly is. So, and I've heard that same comment. You're absolutely right. So people come out and, where do you live? Oh, really? You just live right over there?
You're that guy that I always see in the morning
Right,
leaving
yeah,
and I
yeah.
never see. So
Yeah.
great event, and hats off to all in Maple Grove that had parties, and it's not too early to start planning for next year, right?
I got to compliment Todd Streaky. He's our CSO, one of our CSO officers. Todd loves National Night Out.
Yes, he does.
He coordinates all this, and he does an absolute fantastic job. So I got to praise him for his work on it. There are lots of others that are involved as well.
Right.
But Todd, sometimes I think he lives and breathes National Night Out. It's his baby. So.
All right, well, job well done.
Yeah, for
Let's
sure.
give people an update of some other things happening in town, then we'll get to that council agenda for you in just a few minutes.
Well, right now we've issued 169 single-family permits versus 144 this time last year. Bottineau Ridge, that's the 50-unit, multi-story affordable housing projects. It's a corner of Hemlock and Arbor Lake Parkway, fully leased out. In fact, it's not even 100% complete yet, but it's fully leased out. They have accomplished all the necessary health and safety items, and so people are moving in.
Okay.
And so the parking lot there is packed with U-Hauls, and it's 50 units is leased out just like that.
Fantastic.
My sense is that the developer John Duffy is probably going to start on his second phase of another 50. I don't think this year, but I would say early spring of 2015.
Earlier than expected.
I think so. He just the leasing up just as I think we knew that there was a demand out there.
Right.
But for 50 units to be leased out, wham bam, just like that. So the other developments that are going on in the area, you've got the Sky at Arbor Lakes.
Right.
That's that multi-story market rate rental property. There are at least 40 units that have met all the necessary health and safety issues.
Right.
And so they have received a temporary certificate of occupancy. Those have been rented out.
Right.
And then Silver Creek on Main, that's the senior housing project at the corner of Weaver Lake and Main Street. Construction on that is just coming along very rapidly, and it's been a long time since we've seen cranes
Yes.
on development projects. In fact, at the Silver Creek, there's 4 cranes at that site, and so it's wonderful to watch that in action. But that's moving along very, very well. I know that the Sky was delayed because of weather, heavy rain, a number of weeks back.
Sure.
Silver Creek on Main, not as delayed, but nevertheless, they're working hard to get everything taken care of, and so it's a lot of activity in that quadrant. And then
Certainly
the
is.
Arbor Lake Senior has approval for, it's either 46 or 48 memory care units that will be addition at the back, and so that'll be happening. So when you take a look at that, just that quadrant right there, wow, there's a lot of activity. So.
And then right in the middle of all that, the Central Park.
Yes.
Taking shape. You see Earth moving all the time.
Right.
How is that going along? What can people expect to see or maybe be able to do still this summer and fall?
It's coming along very, very well, and I think that there are going to be some good opportunities for not only our residents but non-residents to participate in some of the different features of the Central Park. So it's quite an amazing area. It's really booming.
And it's a good view of all the cranes if you walk around that park
Yes.
area too. So just enjoy that new skyline that's happening in that part of the city of Maple Grove.
Absolutely right. The city owns 28 scattered site housing units, which are they're affordable housing units, and we had 2 that were vacant, and so we put it out for announcement for people that are interested in meeting the criteria for the affordable housing. We had 100 people that applied for 2.
Okay.
Had 100 people that applied, and then over a process, you narrow it down, and so we're still working on narrowing it down. But you just stop and think that it's still the demand for affordable housing.
Sure.
That hasn't gone away. So we're very happy with that. Ebola concerns. As you know, Brooklyn Park has been holding a series of meetings.
Right.
And I think Brooklyn Center as well. We have quite a bit of information that we will make available at the Government Center, and we'll also put it on our website.
Okay.
Information that Brooklyn Park has shared with us, information that we've received from a variety of health agencies, including Maple Grove Hospital. So all of that will be made available. Now, Brooklyn Park, they have the largest, I think, concentration of librarians in North America. And so obviously the concern by their population is much greater than in Maple Grove, and nevertheless, we want to make the information on the Ebola disease situation readily available to people, and we're doing that. So,
all right, that website again is maplegrovemn.gov, and we'll show that and give that to you again at the end of the program.
correct. We had a grand opening of a company called Von Voss. It's kind of a unique type of business. It's involved in vinegars and oils and things like that, but it also has a liquor license permit, and so for an off sale.
Okay.
And so it's really a neat little business. It's in the Arbor Lakes area. So
Okay, in the shops
in the
area, I
shops in
believe.
Arbor Lakes,
Okay.
right? We had a groundbreaking for Park Nicollet. This is their there's a two-phase program they have. The first phase is the groundbreaking we had for a 93,000 square feet, multi-story medical office building. That they are hoping that will be open and in operation probably summer 15, fall of 15. But the second part of their overall, Park Nicollet's overall plan is even more attractive, and that's 150,000 square feet, again a multi-story and a five-level parking ramp. And so we're hoping that all of that will come to pass. But
Right.
the 93,000 is under construction now, and that's going to be a great addition to that area. And we're finding that after kind of a lull, the medical side of our business community is really starting to pick up. Obviously, with the hospital, that certainly helps.
Right.
And in the Ryan Medical Building, it's a 42,000 two-level medical office building that is under construction right now, right by Aldi's. And again, that's tied into the North Memorial, the Maple Grove Hospital. So there's a lot of activity going on
Right,
in
exactly.
that particular section.
And there was that thought when the hospital came online that there would be an immediate influx, but again, the economy had some different thoughts about that, I
It
believe.
sure did,
but
yes.
now it is interesting to see that it is happening.
It is,
in
yeah.
many ways.
Yeah, we thought that we're going to really see a big surge, but you're right. The economy was a problem, and the development that we were anticipating in the medical business really dropped, but now it's coming back with a strong force.
Very good to see.
We're happy with that. Just a note of congratulations to our Maple Grove Transit Commission and our transit coordinator, Mike Opatz. Maple Grove Transit, we're an opt-out system. We have our own bus system.
Right.
We were selected as #1 in the express route category for the least subsidized operation. And in one case,
Okay.
even one of our routes is making money.
That sounds good on a couple different
Oh,
levels.
it sure does. And so, because, typically transit, doesn't matter if it's light rail or if it's, bus rapid transit, there's always that subsidy level.
Right.
In our case, our transit system, our express route system is doing exceedingly well, so we're very pleased with that. So
We, in the past year or so, had talked about, and maybe even further back than that, the Parkway Station coming online, and I would
Yes.
guess because of those numbers, the station is doing very well, and it is probably not at capacity, but obviously being very well used.
it's very well used. It is. It's not the facility itself is not 100% complete. There's still some landscaping to
Okay.
finish off, some very minor checklist items, but yes, the usage of the Parkway Station is growing every day. So
Very good.
we have no plans though to add an extra level. The 2-level that is there now, that's what will remain there. So, but yeah, our our transit operation continues to do exceedingly well, and people just thoroughly enjoy it. And I've always thought if I was working in downtown Minneapolis and if I did not need my car, perfect opportunity.
Right.
Jump on the bus, have coffee, read the paper, relax, let the driving to somebody else. And so,
Congratulations
very well.
again to the commission.
photo contest, and I understand you're going to be one of the judges.
Oh boy, now you put the pressure on me.
Right. Carol Morris is doing a wonderful job of getting the photo contest all set. And the photos are now on display on the first level of the government center outside the council chambers. Fantastic photographs. I mean, some of the things that they're able to catch on film is marvelous. So it's really wonderful to see that.
And the great end result then is a lot of those photos turn into photos that are used in publications throughout the following years. So you'll probably see some of your friends' photography work.
Yes, that's for sure, but wonderful job. So, Silver Creek on Main, they held their first informational meeting about their development. Packed house at the community center, so they had to have another one.
Oh my.
So they're having another public informational meeting on April 18 from 4 to 6, I think.
Or
it
August
is.
18?
Oh, excuse me, I want to say April.
Yep.
August.
Don't want to wait that long for it.
Maybe I wish it was, we were still in April, not August, but August 18th.
Okay.
And again, that'll be at the community center, and that's from, I think, 4 to 6. That's going to be a very, very nice facility. They are already amassing quite a list of potential but renters. So it's going to be a very, very fine facility at that corner. So that's it. The council meeting this past Monday night was about an hour long, just under. We had a couple of items of noteworthy on consent. I want to welcome Aaron Bethke. We hired him for the position of light equipment operator. We've been having a number of retirements.
Right.
And so we're trying to fill those. Welcome him as a light equipment operator. Also, Jeffrey Fromm is our new project coordinator. Bill McGowan left us after, I think, about 35 years, retired. And so Jeffrey is taking his place. And then one of our police officers, Kirsten Wills, has resigned. She's taking a police officer position elsewhere. And so we certainly thank her for her service to law enforcement. And speaking of law enforcement, the tragedy of the shooting of Scott Patrick, our thoughts and prayers go out to the family. A number of our officers are at the funeral as we film this. That's just a very, very sad situation.
Yes.
So it's one of those where, as I was talking to the police chief this morning, that you hope you never have to experience in your own community, because it can be very devastating. So, the Red Rock Business Park was passed Monday night. We did approve some adjustments to their site plan. The building will be 319,000 square feet. It'll actually be bigger than UPS and bigger than the FedEx building along Weaver Lake Road. Those are both about 300,000 each.
Right.
So if you're trying to visualize what does a 319,000 square foot building look like, we'll look at the FedEx one along Weaver Lake Road. But that one will start construction shortly. Now that they've got all the necessary approvals, they want to get going. The nice part of it is that well over 200,000 square feet of that facility is already pre-leased to one tenant.
That's what I had heard, that there was someone who required maybe a little bit bigger building, and that is happening.
Right, and if you're the developer, that obviously that brings a joy to your heart.
Now you want to hurry and get that thing built.
That's right, absolutely right. Farmers Market, August 3rd through August 9th is the Farmers Market week.
Okay.
Our Farmers Market continues to excel. You look at the time frame of 3 to 7, and then you look at the fact that there's typically between 2,500 and 3,000 people that are going through the farmers market just within that 4-hour period, and it's astonishing.
Yeah,
it's
hard to
just,
believe.
They do. Carol Morris and Kirsten, they do a fabulous job on that farmers market. So we did adopt a resolution, as you recall, sometime back. The legislature approved our special legislation for gravel mining area tax
Right.
increment financing plan. And but even though it's been approved by the legislature, signed by the governor, a formality has to take place, and that's where the local unit of government has to approve by resolution. I've always found it kind of odd because,
What are you going to say,
what,
right?
what are we going to say? Of course we're going to approve it, but secondly, the legislature and the governor have already signed off on it, but it is a formality. So we did adopt a resolution formalizing our approval of that.
Okay,
So
very good.
we're in the process now of putting together the parameters because the purpose is to help attract business development in the gravel mining area. Business development being office and industrial. It will not apply to residential nor retail,
Okay.
but it'll be on a case-by-case basis. And so we are putting together the parameters as to, it's almost like our project point system that we use for our residential development. We take a look at what is the project, how well does it fit with our land use plan, what is the size, what is the value. We take a look at landscaping, lighting, the whole range of things. And then points are allocated to each of those, and then there's a threshold that they have to meet, a minimum number of points. And so
Right.
we're working on pulling all that together. It isn't going, you aren't going to see anything popping out of the ground because of our GMA TIF this year.
Right.
But spring of 2015, I think it's when it's really going to happen. And for those that are not familiar, the purpose is to help offset the cost of infrastructure. Sewer, water, storm sewer, streets. The cost of infrastructure in the gravel mining area is exceedingly high. And that really has deterred business development in there because the costs are so high. So this will help, I think, attract high-quality business to Maple Grove in the gravel mining area. So.
And the amount of area that we're talking about that this TIF district or area covers is how big? Again, I think we talked about this the last time, but just to give viewers a little idea of scope, how big is it compared to what's already been developed in the gravel mining area?
Well, the size we originally thought would be around 600 acres, but after doing a lot more work and analysis, our size is probably going to be over 700 acres. Now, there's probably been 600 acres, 700 acres already developed.
Okay.
Because of the Arbor Lakes
Right.
projects and all that. And so we're looking at probably around 700, maybe 750
So
acres.
nearly that size again is
Oh, yes.
what we're looking at.
Right, right. And it'll be a great opportunity because right now, if someone was looking to do something in that area, the cost per square foot, when you factor in all of the infrastructure, and then there's park dedication fees, there's sewer and water hookup fees, there's Metropolitan Council SAC fees, all those fees pale, well, then there's the cost of the land itself.
Sure,
And so
right.
all of a sudden, you've got a per square foot cost, which just the developers just cannot handle. So this is going to be, I think, a very, very good thing for us.
And because of that factor, has it been that businesses that might have considered Maple Grove and might have looked at that area in recent years have potentially gone elsewhere because of that cost? Is that really
Correct.
what
Oh,
has
yeah.
happened and why this was so needed?
Oh, it's absolutely correct. We lost, a couple of very, very important businesses that had been in Maple Grove for a number of years. Did look at the gravel mining area, but the cost per square foot to develop just could not be handled, and so yes, they did are in a process of relocating
Right.
to other communities, and so this is going to help us. But yeah, there's no doubt that the cost of development in the gravel mining area, just because a lot of the terrain and everything has really stopped quality business in there.
Okay.
So we're looking forward to it. But
We will
again,
definitely keep people up to
we're laying
date
out
on that.
parameters, and
Okay.
so it's a case-by-case basis.
Sure.
So
Very
anyway,
good.
that was it. The mayor was thanked by Councilmember Jager and the rest of the council for his role in the added lane on 494. There was a groundbreaking for that, and Mayor Stephenson played a key role working with MnDOT to get that third lane, because MnDOT was taking the position of creating what they call the dynamic lane,
Right.
which was only a Band-Aid, you know, and so our mayor and others worked very, very diligently with the Department of Transportation and got them to be convinced that a true third lane is the way to go.
Right.
And so the next 2 years, it's probably not going to be a lot of fun driving on
Very
494
true.
because of the construction. But when it's done, it's just going to be a real benefit, not only to us, but Plymouth, Minnetonka, you know, everybody along there. So thank Mayor Stephenson for his great hard work on that. So that was it. Meeting was about an hour long.
Okay. Well, we have a minute or two left. Wanted to ask about Maple Grove Junior High School. It's been a while since we've talked about that, and obviously the school year is right around the corner, and there was a lot of work happening there in conjunction with the school district and the city and some athletic associations. How are the gyms coming? Have you seen or heard?
Gyms are coming along very well. Yeah, very, very well. And you know, later this fall, most of it will be done. There'll be 3 gyms that are being added to Maple Grove Junior High. And then the Maple Grove Senior High has been adding on as well because of the way they're restructuring.
Right.
You know, the senior high now will be grades 9, 10, 11, and 12. And so they're adding another gym at the Maple Grove Senior High, as well as making improvements to the existing gym. And so there's a lot of growth in that area. And you know, the Osseo Maple Grove Basketball Association, they're thrilled to be on board.
Right. Oh, sure.
Getting 3 new gyms attached to the Maple Grove Junior High, and they're going to be very, very nice. So
All right. We'll give you updates.
coming along well.
Updates on those as they move along. Al, thank you very much again for your time. Appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.
We did mention a few things related to the website, and let's give you that website one more time here so you can jot that down, maplegrovemn.gov, if you want to find out more information about what is happening in the city of Maple Grove and some of the information Al passed along earlier. That is the site to look for that. Again, the Ebola outbreak and some of the information there from other cities is available there as well. Next meeting is August 18th, a Monday, 7:30 at the Government Center. And number is 494-6000 if you want to call the Government Center. Number for us, if you have questions or comments, 533-1710 of your response line. You can leave a message and ask a question for the program. For Al Manson, I'm Dave Kaiser. Thanks for joining us on the Maple Grove City Report.